Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a chatty Valentine's Day get ready with me. I'm doing the softest glam known to mankind. This has kind of doubled as like my daily school makeup routines. I've just been doing this kind of soft, blown out, no harsh lines glam and very skin focused, very glowy. But while I'm doing this get ready with me, I'm going to be chatting about love and relationships and answering all your burning assumptions and questions that I had you guys send in on Instagram stories. Before we start, I want to thank my Valentine's Day partner in crime on this video, 𝓈𝑜𝒻𝓉 Jewelry. I've been keeping this a secret for a bit, but I'm super excited to announce that I'm now a brand ambassador for 𝓈𝑜𝒻𝓉 Jewelry. They make hands down my favorite dainty jewelry pieces in the world. Y'all know that one pair of square gold earrings, the little diamond stud that I wore in literally every video for the past 3 months? 𝓈𝑜𝒻𝓉 earrings. That's just why I'm really excited to be working with them. As I told you guys, I'm being a lot more selective with sponsorships and brands I decide to collaborate with, and a huge priority for me this year was working with brands that I really feel align with me and are brands I genuinely love and use. To me, sustainability means everything, and especially right now, I think the most important thing is caring for our planet. And so many huge luxury conglomerate brands are the culprit of so much waste. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity and the privilege to make choices like that and choose who I partner with and who I support. 𝓈𝑜𝒻𝓉 is a New York-based brand. All their jewelry is sustainable, all their practices with their employees and their sourcing is ethical. The metal they use is all recyclable or recycled metal. Their diamonds are sustainably grown, and of course their prices. They use transparent pricing, which I think is amazing to see. So today I'm wearing by far my favorite earrings from them. These are just little 14 karat gold mini hoops. These are solid gold. They use all fine metal in their jewelry. They have gold, sterling silver, rose gold, and their prices are amazing for the quality of the pieces that you're getting. Gold is always a safe investment in terms of just investing in fine jewelry pieces to have in your collection. But I just really love the design aesthetics of 𝓈𝑜𝒻𝓉 Jewelry. So these are my favorite earrings from them, but of course they have so many other beautiful designs. These little gold-plated drops are another one of my favorite styles as well. But yes, I'm very excited to announce that I am officially an ambassador for them, so you will be seeing me wearing their jewelry quite a bit. Okay. This is one of my favorite brands, and I'm very, very proud to be working with them today. That is all I had to say. Full details of this look should be throughout the video, but if you want to know any of the product specifics, they will all be linked down in the description box. And without further ado, happy Valentine's Day. Let's do this. Alright, let's get this show on the road. I've already done pretty much all my skin prep up to sunscreen, so we're all good on that front. I'm just gonna put my hair back because I spent a long time on this. Alright, and then I asked you guys to send in any questions / assumptions onto my Instagram stories, but just any relationship / love related, because this is a Valentine's Day get ready with me, and if anything is too intrusive, I will just ignore it. I'm gonna start off with a little bit of this Tatcha the Kiss You lip mask because it's really pretty and pink, and I just like starting off with a little bit of lip hydration. This has become the new first step in my routine. I just feel by the time I get to my lips, which is the very last step, they're really dry, especially if I put foundation on them. So I just like to start with a little bit of a thicker, more occlusive lip mask in the beginning of the routine, just so that my lips are actually doing okay by the time I get to them. And so far I think this is really nice. It is a little bit up there in price, but I think this is probably one of Tatcha's best products that I've tried out, so really enjoying this so far. And then of course this wouldn't be a soft glowy glam without some soft glowy glam, so I'm going to use the Glossier Future Dew as my primer / I don't know, skin glow base. You know how I roll. I'm just going to go in with one pump. This has been more than enough for me over the past couple weeks. And while I'm doing the Future Dew, let's start off with the first assumption. You will spend Valentine's Day studying or editing. Yes, ma'am. I think the biggest thing that's become clear to me over the past couple months or so is that I have a routine and I'm very happy in it. I have to really care about somebody to move things around in that routine. I think that's what a good relationship is being able to be elastic with somebody and being willing to sacrifice things that you're comfortable with in order to make time for the person that you love. But right now, a bitch is really happy, so spending this Valentine's Day single, which is pretty litty in my opinion. This is actually going to be the first Valentine's Day in a couple years that I'm not that I'm fully single, that I'm not talking to anybody, that I'm not. It's just I'm happy and I'm single, and that's different for me and very weird. So that's kind of partially why I wanted to film this video today. Just I knew I wanted to do kind of a soft glam Valentine's Day. This is not a tutorial because I hate tutorials, so get ready with me, but I also wanted to do something kind of chatty and talking about stuff, and this is definitely an area of my life that I really have never talked about or very rarely talk about on my channel, so figured let's do an entire video opening up and talking about it. So if I seem a little awkward in this video, that's why. I'm just trying to warm up to this topic in general, because it is one of the most asked things, but it's never really been something I felt like I could share a lot of insights on, just because I am younger. And we'll get to this later, but I don't really have any like serious experiences in terms of like long-term relationships, but whatever insight I can give, I hope it's somewhat useful or at least somewhat entertaining in this video, because it's a clown world, let me tell you. For foundation, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Becca Skin Love foundation. This has been one of my favorites recently. I think this is like a go-to winter foundation for me with my dry skin. And it's probably coming up after this, but I'm doing like a current favorites on my low buy, which is I think going to be a bit more interesting than my regular current favorites video, because it's A, like no new releases, and B, I think I'm probably going to film it in the dorm so you get a very accurate representation of what I've been wearing on the day-to-day. This has been one of those things. Becca Skin Love is kind of where it's at. The next assumption is it takes you a long time to fall in love / trust someone. Trust someone? Yeah. I think this also kind of falls in line with a lot of the other assumptions that have come up, which are like you feel self-conscious telling people about YouTube, especially like with romantic partners or on dates. I talked very recently in a Get Ready With Me, I think it was my last Get Ready With Me actually, about just like kind of trust issues I have with like telling people about my YouTube. It's a more normal thing within my generation, but it's still something that definitely will change the way people look at you. And like I don't even think of it as a central part of my character and who I am. I feel like my career aspirations are more central to who I am, but YouTube is still like a major part of my life. And it is something that I've like held back on telling people about because I'm scared of how it will change things, if that makes sense. Because not every guy is a Stephen Perkins. Not every guy is gonna be like super supportive of that kind of thing, which sucks. That being said though, it is something I'm like really proud of and that I love that I do. So if somebody that I was seeing wasn't like cool with that or didn't understand it or didn't seek to understand it, if I like tried to help them understand it, that would kind of be a deal breaker for me, because I take what I do very seriously. And while makeup isn't a central part of who I am, my ambition is. That's not having high standards, that's just having like standards and protecting yourself and knowing what you're worth and what you deserve out of a relationship. So I get that the YouTube thing might not apply to everybody, but just in general, if you're ever with somebody who's like not completely supportive of what you are doing and what you know to be your path, cut that out, man. I don't know what to say. But anyways, like back to the what the original question was, it takes you a long time to fall in love / trust someone. Yeah, I mean, I think it should take anybody a long time to fall in love. I'm definitely somebody who does not believe in love at first sight. I don't think that's really a thing. I think lust at first sight is definitely a thing. It's really not something to be taken lightly, and I don't think that like love should have a timeline. Like there's no certain set amount of time you should be with someone before you like know that you love them. But I don't think it's something that can like manifest itself in 2 weeks, if that makes sense. Do I think that I'm overly cautious and overly protective of my feelings? Yeah, definitely, and it's something I'm trying to work on. Therapy, going great. But do I think to a certain degree that like overcautiousness and overprotectiveness of your feelings can be a good thing? Yeah, because those are the boundaries I like to put up for myself, and while I do like try and lower those guards sometimes, they have kept me safe in the past. I just refreshed the assumptions page and I just got some really good new ones in. This is one that I really want to answer, and it's, would you ever forgive cheating? Let's answer that while doing cream contour. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Matchstick. By the way, I'm so sorry, I'm really like not doing a great job of mentioning everything that I'm using, but I will have all the details for the products linked down in the description box. So yeah, cheating is something I have personal experience with as not the cheater, but the cheatee. Cheeto? I don't know.
I have the mind of a master. I have the mind of a master.
What I'm saying is I've been cheated on before, and for me, it has changed the way that I look at cheating, because beforehand I just thought like cheating is the most egregious thing that can happen in a relationship and it's like a truly unforgivable act. Now I think I look at it with a more holistic and, dare I say, healthy approach. I think cheating is a symptom in a relationship and not the main cause or not the main problem. It's almost always a effect of something deeper that's going on within the relationship, whether it's like a lack of trust, just a lack of integrity, I don't know. But with regards to, do I think it's something that can be forgiven? It depends on the context of the relationship that it happens in, and I think it deeply depends on what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to move past. For me, I like to give people not necessarily the benefit of the doubt, but a chance to talk about it and to justify themselves and explain, because I think everyone deserves a chance to be heard, and I think cheating is a symptom of somebody feeling not heard or hurt in a relationship. That does not by any means make it right. Hurting somebody to alleviate your own pain is awful. But I'm friends with, and I know other couples from high school who have dealt with that kind of thing, and they've been able to move past it and make it a part of their relationship that has strengthened them. Of course, both of them wish it like hadn't happened, but it is something that they've been able to move through as an obstacle in their relationship, and I think it's made them stronger. So again, I think it varies very much by person to person. For me, that's it, and it's not something that I can really move past, but I really admire people who can. And I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, but like one of my favorite albums of all time is Lemonade by Beyonce, and that really gave me a very different outlook on infidelity in relationships, and just seeing how Beyonce and Jay-Z went through that very much behind the scenes, but the entire album told a story of her emotional journey throughout finding out about that and then working it into their relationship as a point of like growth. So for me, that album was really powerful because that was like something I'd never really looked at, and cheating is something that has destroyed families around me for most of my childhood. So, but that's just something that I'm still trying to navigate and still trying to figure out my thoughts on. Again, this is another subject where I don't feel like I can give super authoritative answers like I can with like ingredients and makeup reviews and stuff, because it's very subjective and it's very much feelings based and changing. So the best I can do is just kind of turn on a camera and talk and spitball, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Very uncomfortably. I'm looking very pale and washed out right now, so I'm gonna grab some of the Becca Sunlit Bronzer. This is the shade Bronze Bondi. I really have been liking this formula as well. Becca's just kind of killing it right now for me in terms of skin stuff. And this next question is one of my favorites that came up because it's like a sciencey related one. Do you believe love is a real thing or just a chemical reaction in the brain? Ooh, we love some 𝓈𝒻𝓉 up in here. Just kidding, we hate 𝓈𝒻𝓉. I'm gonna say no, it's not just chemical reactions in the brain, and I don't want to sound like too like hippy dippy or whatever, but I do think that there's a difference between like physical body and physical life and what inhabits our bodies. Some people call it soul, I call it like consciousness. Kylie Cosmetics blush in the shade Pink Power as usual. But I do think that love is more than just neurotransmitters in the brain, and something that really solidified that for me. I think to view any part of the world, whether that's like love or any phenomenon, with just what we can see empirically is short-sighted at best and foolish at worst. I'm taking a really fun class right now. It's called English 80. It's a study of major American authors, and right now we're stuck on like transcendentalism and romanticism. And romanticism is basically the philosophy and the idea that the world isn't just made up of like data and facts and the observable things that we can see. Basically, the key philosophy is that facts mean nothing without somebody's imagination to string together those facts and kind of read between the lines and see like what connects all those things. The example that was given in class for that was like scientific data doesn't necessarily say anything until somebody interprets it and basically like makes inferences on the cause and effects of things. So I guess the romanticist's view of love would be that it's not just like the neurotransmitters that we see firing in the brain. There's something unmeasurable and unseeable between those. And this is just a theory. It could very well be wrong. It could just be we're all just bundles of like water, bones, neurotransmitters, and blood. But for me, that's just like not a fun way to live my life regarding the world around me, and that may very well not be what's going on. But yeah, that's what I believe, and that's what helps me sleep at night, is just believing that there's more to us than physical bodies, and I don't know where we're gonna go when we die. This is getting so much more deep than it was intended to be. Wow, we're really out here doing some metaphysical questions on a Wednesday afternoon.
What you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass, the sun is still out.
I've taken to doing like 2 layers of setting spray in my routine, so now that I've finished pretty much like all my base stuff, which is like foundation, powder, bronzers, and blush and whatever, I like to go in with a little bit of setting spray first, and then I'm going to go in with some later after I do my eyes and stuff. This is the Fourth Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist, one of my favorite very dewy setting sprays. I'm just going to do one mist on this side, one mist on this side. Can't talk while I do that. Let it sit, and then I'm going to come back and do some more setting later on. I just feel like doing like layers of products instead of just like slapping everything on into one homogeneous layer gives them a lot more of a natural look. So that's been another one of my favorites, like soft glam tips recently. Alright, I'm going to move on to the eyes right now. This is kind of going to be the focal point of the entire look. It's a soft glam, very like eyes focused, but everything is like blown out and blended and not harsh. I have just been like obsessed with soft glams recently, and I've just been screenshotting pretty much every like very subtle soft makeup look that I've come across on Instagram. I'm just all about the very subtle makeup right now. I'm curious to know if anyone's doing the same, because I feel like right now we are in the age and the era of soft glams, and like I am here for it. Whatever is like less effort than a blown out smoky eye, I'm good with. This one is, how do you get over a guy? I kind of need to do that right now, lol.
Child. Anyway, so
as somebody who is a professional getter over of people, I've got a few tips and tricks, but first, allow me to introduce you to the ColourPop Blush Crush palette, one of my favorites for soft glams right now, and this gives me all the Valentine's Day vibes, so I definitely wanted to use this one in the Get Ready With Me. I'm going to first reach into this pink shade here called Made You Blush as my transition. Rule number one is that you gotta have fun. No, I'm kidding. Rule number one, no subtweeting. Don't be that petty person putting like, I'm gonna be forever alone on their private Snapchat stories. Don't be subtweeting vague quotes, because we all know who it's about.
you need a therapist.
I've been watching a whole lot of Shallon Lester recently, and her number one tip is the opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. Being vitriolic towards somebody and like sending a firestorm of hate or like pain their way does not show that you're over them. It shows that you are exactly not over them and you're still dwelling on it and you're still being petty about it. So number one, even if you are still thinking about it, social presence is important, and don't give them that kind of not exposure. Don't give them the kind of satisfaction of them seeing that they still are ruling over your life. Because that's exactly what a subtweet does. It shows like, oh, this person still cares. It's gonna be a lot more jarring for them if you put up a front and you like show, this doesn't really affect me. I'm good. I'm self-sufficient. I'm fine. Even if you're not feeling like that, I think what you project outside is really important, and then you can do the working on the inside. I grabbed the shade here called Cheek to Cheek. These are like my favorite type of neutrals, like kind of mauvey, pinky toned shades. I think the most helpful thing for me is being able to talk to somebody, whether that's like through therapy or just having trusted friends that I can open up to about that kind of thing. I would recommend psychotherapy to literally anybody if it's something that you can access and it's something that is attainable for you to go to. I started going to therapy in late November of last year. I did an entire kind of sobby Get Ready With Me about it, but it's been like one of the most helpful things for my life. And I don't even really talk about like relationship issues in therapy, but just in general I feel like it's helped me know myself a lot better. I think a lot of people have this view that therapy is like going to someone to talk about your problems and work through your problems there. I think, at least for me, therapy has more so been a way for me to deal with my problems on my own, and what I do there is not like necessarily unpacking all the problems and solving them in therapy. It's like working through the issues and getting the tools there to deal with them outside of therapy. It's a huge misconception because I feel like a lot of people view going to therapy as like admitting that you're weak and admitting that you can't handle everything by yourself, which is something that I definitely thought about myself and like kept me from getting the help that I needed for a while, because I was like, if I go, I'm basically admitting that I can't handle things on my own. That was scary for me, but like I think one of the biggest things I've learned is it's anything but that. It's having the strength to like admit that you need help and take care of yourself in that way, I think is one of the most valuable things. It's not going to be for everyone. For me, I think it's like ebbed and flowed, and I've actually kind of stopped going to therapy as of lately, at least with the therapist that I've been seeing, just because I feel like I've been doing pretty well and all the tools that I've been able to gain from therapy have been something that I've been able to deal with on my own. I'm grabbing the shade here called Blush Wine, and I'm doing kind of like faux winged liner on the outside. I really love doing eyeliner using eyeshadow. I just think it's like such a soft and like beautiful effect that pencil liner or like liquid liner can't give. Just like that softly blended little wing, I think is so pretty. And while I'm finishing up the other eye, next question is, do you believe in soulmates? Absolutely. I don't know if I believe it's like a religious, like spiritual connection of that sort, but I do think that there are certain people in your life who like your soul vibes with.
Vibes, dude. Vibes. Summer vibes, dude.
And again, maybe that's just like my romanticism coming through and me like wanting to believe in that, because I think believing in soulmates is just a very comforting idea, like the fact that there could be somebody out there who is just like perfect for you. I think the search for that all-encompassing person is something that everyone does and can be a source of a lot of pain for people. Some really, really good advice that my sister recently gave me was not necessarily pertaining to like relationships, but with friendships. Once you stop searching for the one friend who can be the everything friend for you, you're gonna be a lot happier in your friendships. And that like really opened my eyes, because I feel like that's something I do a lot, where like the criteria that I'm looking for in a friend is so high because I want them to be my friend for everything. I want them to be the friend that I go to talk about relationship stuff, about work stuff, that I can party with, that I can go shopping with. I don't think any friend is like that. I have certain friends in my life where I go to them if I want to talk about like love things. Different people fill different niches, and you can't expect a single person to fill every single niche in your life. And it seems so simple when she said it to me, but it was genuinely something that I never really realized. And no, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to expect a lot out of people that you surround yourself with, but I do think that it's unfair on both you and both your friends to expect them to be that everything. I definitely think the true is same for the idea of soulmates, because soulmates are very much predicated on the idea of one person being that all-encompassing everything. Alright, that is the eye look all done. It is an all matte look. Who am I? I think this is like one of the softest glams I've ever done, but I really enjoy how this one comes out. I'm gonna go in with mascara. This is the Grande Lash Grande Drama Intense Thickening Mascara with castor oil. I've been testing this out, and I've had quite a few requests to review this one because castor oil is something that can like grow your lashes. So far, I have like kind of mixed feelings on this one because like Grande Lashes is very much known for their like lash lengthening serums. I do think it's a really pretty mascara though. I don't know if it necessarily lengthens your lashes, but you'll have to wait for the full review to know. Alright, that is the mascara on. I think this is a really, really beautiful mascara in terms of like volume and length. And if I was going to class, I would just leave it here. I wouldn't do any lashes, but this is a soft glam Valentine's tutorial, so we're doing lashes.
Open your purse.
And while I'm struggling with lashes, I might as well answer another question. This one is, I don't want to sound rude, so sorry if I do. Don't be sorry, love you anyways. You're mildly confused about your sexuality. Okay, let's just do lashes first. Am I actually going to talk about this on camera? Yeah, why not? I know in some previous Get Ready With Me, I've probably like answered an assumption and said like I'm 100% straight. And I definitely think that I'm pretty straight. I don't know, I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comments telling me that I'm wrong about subjective feelings in my soul that I feel, because that is YouTube. Which I'm being a very bad YouTuber right now because I didn't even mention I'm using the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in the shade You're a Catch. Beautifulness. But I would say, especially as of lately, and I've like gone through this in the past where I've just been like questioning, am I bisexual? I don't know. It's something that I need to figure out for myself, and something I didn't really realize is it takes a lot of courage. Not because of the implications, it wouldn't change how I view myself, and I am fortunate enough that it wouldn't really change how people around me view me, but I'm trying to give myself the grace and the time, and something that I think I really struggle with is putting myself on a timeline and trying to accelerate my life way too fast for the point in my life that I'm at. I have years ahead of me, but I always put this like pressure on myself to be so ahead of the game, to plan so ahead, and I think that's really stifling for me. It's okay to not know everything that's going to be in the future, and it's okay for me to not have a plan. Just in general, as a freshman this year, I've tried to pull back on like, I don't need to be doing everything that seniors around me are doing because I need to move at my own pace, and I need to not compare myself to people who are at different stages in their life. And most of all, I need to respect myself and respect my own boundaries and not push myself to places I'm uncomfortable for the sake of progress, because that's not progress, it's breaking myself down. But this isn't a coming out video, and these statements aren't something that I want people to like hold against me in the future. If I ever decide, no, I am like fully straight, I don't want people to be like, but you came out as bisexual. This is not that. This is just me admitting, yeah, I'm on a path right now where I'm growing and trying to figure out my life, and that does include questioning some things. This is probably going to be the last question. What do you think of age gap relationships? I have pretty complicated feelings regarding age gap relationships, in that I definitely believe that a lot of the time they can be unhealthy. And I'm speaking like from very recent experience here. I just recently broke off something with somebody who I had an age gap with. I think what it really comes down to is not the number of years on paper, unless one of you is not legal, in which case age is just a number, but so is 911, bitch. I think a lot more important than the gap in the years is the gap in like life experience and, again, I'm going to quote Sean Lester here, life arena. A 22-year-old dating a 26-year-old can work really well, but an 18-year-old dating a 22-year-old, even though it's the same number of years apart, I think an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old are at very, very different points in their lives. And I think that can create a somewhat unhealthy dynamic, whether it's a power imbalance, either implicit or explicit, or just like a general difference in what you guys want out of your lives at that time. So I think age gap relationships can work, but it really depends on the stage of life that the two people are in. I think there's very little in common between like an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old. This is just a generalization. I don't think that everybody falls into this guidelines because every relationship is different. I'm gonna go back in with the Gliss Nut Mist and just set my face down for the last time. But yeah, those are my very disorganized thoughts on love and relationships in general. And these thoughts are ever evolving, but this is how I look at the world right now. Just gonna take out my hair real quick. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's little soft glam Valentine's Day get ready with me. Thank you to Anne Louisa for partnering today. And if you're at this point in the video, thank you for listening to what I had to say, because it's something I've been scared to talk about and scared to open up about, because I don't even know how I feel about most of these things. But I just want to say that you guys have always been a source of like higher understanding for me and really growing as a person, and I have to thank you for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below, and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this posted, I don't know, when it's not Valentine's Day. And whether you are booed up or you are a single Pringle this Valentine's Day, I love you and you get the bonus meme.